On, please. Cameras on, please. You guys got to remind me. I'm an old lady. You need to help me remember things. Right? Is it on now? Yes. It's all good now? Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. How are we, Belle? What's new and exciting, you guys? Bernadette, buenos dias. Buenos dias. So, I'll make myself like a sticky note to say, okay, remember to turn on the focus mode, remember to turn on the YouTube, remember to, and then because I see the sticky note like all day long, then I stop seeing it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's no longer a reminder to me because I stopped seeing it because it's always in front of me. So that's where you guys come in. Remind me. Okay. Oh, wisdom teeth. Youch. Youchy, youchy. Good morning, Ethan. Good morning, Bernadette. You guys gonna share with me real quick what was the best thing about your break other than not being at school? Oh, Tiana, is that your puppy? What's your puppy's name? Huh? What's your puppy's name? Hi, Ethan. Oh, you went to an amusement park. That's fun. Milo. We have a Milo in the family. Puppy. Bernadette. That's a good one. Yeah. How old is Milo? Oh, he's just a baby. Just a baby. Just a baby. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, I'm hoping y'all had a good break. I'm hoping y'all were able to catch up on some sleep and eat some good food and maybe go to a movie or go to an amusement park or go to the beach or just hang out with family, right? Friends. Yeah, it's all good. I'm going to share a screen with you. And there's no right or wrong answer here. Well, there is kind of a right or wrong answer, but let's just see what you come up with. Okay. Just kind of a warm up today. Remember way back when, 2 weeks. Remember way back when, before break, we were talking about our house, the rooms in a house, furniture in a house. Remember all that, you guys? So take a look at my screen. Which item or which room is the odd one out? La sala, like the family room. El jardín, the garden or the yard. El garaje, la piscina is the pool. La cocina is the kitchen. El baño, el dormitorio, el comedor is the dining room, and el auditorio. Good, Kinsley. Good, Ray. Good, Malik. So pop it in the chat. Which item or which room is the odd one out, you guys? Good, Malia. Good, Kindle. Remember, we're talking about our house. Yes, yes. Very good, Bernadette. Good, Belle. Now, I said initially that there's not really a right answer or wrong answer, right? And so we're going to talk about that as soon as I get a few more responses in the chat. Which room is the odd one out, or which space or whatever is the odd one out? Okay, Elijah? Anybody else? Okay. All right, good, Jamarian. Good, Trayvon. Okay, so most of you said, okay, Shamar, most of you said el auditorio, right? Most of you said el auditorio because it's an auditorium, right? So we don't have an auditorium in the house, right? But some of you said la piscina. So again, remember I said there's not really a right or wrong answer, it all depends on how you look at it. Because, some people are fortunate enough, it exists is what I'm saying, to have a space in their house where they can have like a movie theater in their house. Have you guys ever seen like big fancy houses and they'll have like a little movie theater room in their house? So that's a possibility, right? As far as a pool goes, right? One can argue what? Be that it's outside. What is the argument for la piscina? Why did we choose la piscina? Because el jardín, the yard, is also outside, right? Why did we choose la piscina? Yes, I get it, Ethan. Because, okay, it's the only pool, okay? And some of us don't have pools, right? Get it? Okay, what else? Why else could we have chosen piscina? We could have said maybe it's the only water feature, I don't know, right? So again, there's not a right answer or a wrong answer. But I would like the strongest answer might be the auditorium, because most of us don't have an auditorium in our home as a room, right? All right, muy bien. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. That was just a little refresher about our rooms. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. I have a bajillion tabs open, so if something pops up that doesn't apply, just ignore. Shamar, what you doing? You awake? See? All right. All right, muy bien. So, can y'all see my screen? All right, so what are we doing today, clase? Hoy es el 7 de abril, the 7th of April, lunes, Monday. Y practiquemos a escribir con los verbos en AR, okay? I don't know, Ethan. I'll have to check it and let you know, okay? Maybe closer to the end of class, right? Okay, so what are we doing? Well, here's what we're doing. We are going to talk about, I'm going to remind you again about those 3 types of verbs. I'm going to try to remind us again about the pattern that we find on how to use these 3 types of verbs, okay? And then I'm going to try to show you how to use them. And then if we have time today, we're going to practice, right? So that's how this is going to roll. Now, if I were you, because I was you once, if I were you, I'm a note-taking person, I would prepare to take some notes, okay? If you're not a note-taking person, I don't know, what do you do to remember things, right? Do you take pictures of the screen? I don't know. Take screenshots, open a document in your Google Drive, write your notes on paper, whatever works for you. I'm going to give you a few minutes to get yourself organized. If I were you, I would take some notes, okay? So we are graduating, you guys. We're climbing the stairs. We're going to a higher level, right? We're no longer toddlers, now we're going to be young kids in terms of our language ability, okay? All right, so help me out here, por favor. Let's try to remember, okay? So way back before break, you guys, we talked about these 3 types of verbs in Spanish. Make sure that you can see my screen. And you don't have to write all this down, Oh, very good, Kinsley. Nicely done. Thanks for sharing that. That always makes my heart happy. So we have three types of verbs, you guys. We have verbs that end in an AR. And remember, you guys, that verbs are action words, right? They're action words, whatever it is that we happen to be doing, okay? But we have to remember something, you know? There are verbs, right, you guys, that are not a physical action. They're not verbs of motion or movement, okay? What do I mean? I mean like thinking. Yeah. Breathing. I don't know. Of course, we can see the motion for breathing, but it's not like running or jumping, right? There are verbs like thinking. That's the best one. Or being, like I exist, I am, right? So those are things that they are action words. They're just not motion or movement. Okay. So we need to remember that there's different kinds of actions, right? Then we're going to have verbs or actions that end in an ER and those that end in an IR. Okay, AR, ER, or IR. Why is that important? Does anybody remember why we talked about it being important that we can identify what kind of verb it is? Does anybody remember? You can unmute or put it in the chat. Do you remember why that's important? Anybody? If you forgot, you forgot. I get it. Yeah. But does anybody remember? Okay. So here's why it matters. Okay. Take a look at my next screen. Yes. Trayvon, good job. We have to use, you guys, the right form of the verb. Just like we did with like ser, like yo soy, tú eres, él es, nosotros somos, ellos son. We had to match them up, right? We had to use the right form. When we did estar, right? We said, yo estoy, tú estás, él está, right? So we had to use the right form. Same thing when we did that tener thing, right? Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen, right? We had to use the right form. So if we are going to use these correctly when we speak, or in a sentence if we're writing, we have to know what to do with them. And the only way to know what to do with them is to be able to figure out what kind of verb it is. Okay, everybody follow me so far? Give me a thumbs up. Belle, you with me? Shamar, you with me? Nevea, Bernadette, yeah, Tiana, Ethan, Arshad. All right, Jojo. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question here. First of all, I'm gonna put a square here. And I want us to read this thing across. We're going to start with the yo, and you guys are going to find a pattern for me. We're looking for patterns. Why are we looking for patterns? Because it makes life so much easier, you guys, if we can find a pattern. Okay, just like we've been doing all year. So here are the three kinds of verbs: those that end in AR, those that end in ER, and those that end in IR. What is the pattern that we see with yo? Somebody unmute or pop it in the chat. So we're looking across at all the yos. What's the pattern? Yes, Kinsley. What's the pattern? What do we see here? Kendall, Arshad, Ray. Good, Bernadette. Malik, where'd he go? We're looking at the yo form, just the yo form, just the yo form up here on my screen, you guys, just the yo form. Do y'all see my screen? Belle, you see my screen? I see your eyes moving. Ethan? Yes, it's the same. Jo Marion, what is the, yes. Okay, so everybody needs to follow me here, and you're taking notes, right? So let's look at a pattern between these three kinds of verbs. If we need the yo form, that yo form is going to end in an O. No. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second, okay? Because we need to back up. I think we need to back up. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. So let me. Okay. All right. Y'all take a look at my new screen here, okay? Because we're getting confused. Okay. So let's listen. I'm going to put an example of each of our verbs. Okay. So let's say, for example, limpiar la casa. This was one of our vocab words. Does anybody remember what limpiar la casa was? What it meant? It was one of our chores. Remember, we were learning chores. Very good, Belle. So, to clean the house. Okay. If you're a note taker, this is it. You're on. Okay. To clean the house. Who can tell me which one of these words means to clean? Which word means to clean? Okay, good. So limpiar is our action, you guys. Limpiar is our word to clean. Okay, all right. Now, if I want to use this in a sentence, I have to, just like we did with all the other things that we've learned, right? If I want to say, I clean the house, I clean the house, then I need the form of limpiar that goes with I, because I need to be able to say, I clean the house. Everybody follow me so far? Okay. So how do I do that? How do I do that? Well, here's how I do it. Now watch carefully, because this, you guys, is the ticket. Okay. This is the ticket to graduating. Okay. We know that I is yo. Make sure that y'all can see my Zoom screen. So watch what I'm going to do. I need the form that goes with yo. How do I figure it out? Well, here's why, or here's how. If limpiar is an AR verb, we have AR, ER, and IR verbs. This one is an AR verb. How do I know that? Thank you, Bernadette. How do I know that this is an AR verb? Somebody tell me in chat. How do I know that limpiar is an AR verb? Yes, because it ends, right, because it ends in an AR, you guys. So that tells me it's an AR verb. So if I want to say I clean the house, here's what I have to do. I need to find the root, or sometimes they call it the stem. How do I do that? I get rid of the AR. Okay? I get rid of the AR. Now, I need to find the form that goes with yo. Okay? We said, or we saw in the other chart, that it would end in an O. Okay? Yo limpio la casa. I clean the house. So you see my O ending here, you guys, my O ending, right, goes with yo. Everybody understand what I'm getting at here? Sí o no? Sí o no? Give me a thumbs up if you follow. Ethan? Yes. Trevon? Malia, thank you. Shamar, I need a camera on, please. Tiana? Malik? Joe Marion? I need to know that y'all follow what I'm doing here. Okay. All right. So, thank you. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing that. We'll come back to that in just a second. Okay. But give me a minute here. All right. Yes. It means to clean, right? In other words, it's an action, the action of cleaning. It doesn't mean that something is clean, right? It's the action of actually cleaning. Okay. All right. So let's go back to this. I'm going to ask you again. We have verbs that end in AR, like limpiar. We have verbs that end in ER, like barrer, like to sweep the floor. We have verbs that end in IR, like sacudir los muebles, to dust the furniture. If I want to use any of those in the yo form in a sentence, what is my ending that I'm going to use? What is the common thread that we see all the way across? Tell me again. What is the pattern for using yo? Ethan? Yes. Thank you, Bill. So if we look across, whether it's an AR verb, an ER verb, or an IR verb, thank you. Very good, you guys. That's our pattern. If it ends in yo, it's going to end in an O. Very good. How do we remember that? Well, look, yo ends in an O, so you just, it's O, 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 O all the time. Okay? All right. What do we notice about the tu? What is the pattern if we need to use tu? A little more than that, Kinsley. You're almost there, though. Okay. Yes. What else? What else about the pattern? What do we see in the tu form? They do all end in an S, but what else? But there's something more to it than that. What do we see? Anybody? Notice the pattern. Yes, Shamar. Very good. Anyone else? Okay. So let's listen carefully, right? It's an AR verb. Let's pretend we're still talking about limpiar, right? Because it's an AR verb, the to form gets an AS. Y'all see this? If it's an ER verb, it gets an ES. And if it's an IR verb, guess what? It also gets an ES. Okay? Everybody follow me? So AR gets an AS, ER and IR gets an ES. Okay? All right, so now, once again, what's the pattern for él, ella, and usted? What's the pattern? What do you see? Well, we're here on él, singular. We're here. This one. Él, ella, and usted. What's the pattern? That's it, Kinsley. Okay, so let's look again. If it's an AR verb, you guys, our ending is going to be A. Yes. And if it's an ER verb, our ending is going to be E. And if it's an IR verb, it's also going to be an E. So what am I seeing here? What am I noticing about the patterns between ER and IR verbs, you guys? What am I noticing here? What is this pattern? What's happening? Got ESE, O, ESE, O, ESE. What do we see? Yes, ER and IR verbs so far are going to follow the same pattern. Okay. All right. How about our nosotros? What do we notice now about nosotros? What's the pattern? Yes. Very good. Yes. Very good. So if it's an AR verb, it's going to get amos. And we had that in estar, estamos, right? Because estar ends in an AR, right? We got rid of the AR and it became estamos. So we've already seen that before. Okay. Yes, Ray. Here's where nosotros is always the most consistent, because if it's an AR verb, it's going to be amos with an A. If it's an ER verb, it's going to be hemos is how we pronounce it, hemos. And if it's an IR verb, it's going to get the I. So it's going to be pronounced imos, imos. Okay. So the nosotros, they're all different based on AR, ER, IR. Okay. All right. What's the pattern then for ellos, ellas, and ustedes? An AR verb is what? An on. An ER verb is in, and the IR goes back to in, right? So this one here is the only one that's different between the ER and the IR. Okay, questions before I go on? Okay, so today I want us to focus on AR verbs. Okay, guys, so we're just going to focus on this. So we found our patterns, right? We see that AR verbs are going to be O, AS, A, amos, and on. Okay, say it to yourself, please. O, AS, A, amos, and on. Let's do it again. Say it to yourself because it's important. You need to have that voice in your brain. O, AS, A, amos, and on. Because it's an AR verb. O, AS, A, amos, and on. Because it's an AR verb. Okay. Any questions? All right. So let's go back to this a quick second. Okay. So let's keep using limpiar. Okay. Limpiar, you guys, is the original form of the verb, right? It ends in an AR. We call that the infinitive. Infinitive, right? So again, you need to know that, add it to your notes. Infinitive, right? It's the original form of the verb. You've heard me say that. Okay. Right? The original form of the verb. So limpiar. And then when we change it like this, okay, when we change it to fit the yo, that's what we call conjugating, right? When we change the form. Okay, to match with yo, with tu, with usted, with el, with ella. Okay, we've done all this. We've talked about all that before, but for different verbs. Same things apply. Okay. All right. So let's say I want to say that he cleans the house. He cleans the house. I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. How do we say he in Spanish? Come on, you guys. It's fourth quarter. We know this. How do we say he? All right. Muy bien. El with the accent, right? El. In chat, how would we finish the sentence. What do we do with limpiar to make it fit with el? It's el, right? El, he. So think about it in your head, right? Did you say it to yourself? It's O, A-S, A, amos, and on. So what do I do with this verb? Perfect, Bernadette. Kendall? Perfect, Kinsley. Okay, everybody needs to listen. Here's our first step. Here's our first step. We take our verb, limpiar. Okay? How do I find the root or the stem? Who remembers? How do I find the root or the stem of this word? What do I get rid of? What do I get rid of? Jomarian? Ethan? Yes, good, right? I get rid of the AR. Okay, because I need to find the root or the stem. And then I can apply my ending. So let's look over here. What's my ending for L, you guys? O-A-S-A, amos, and on. What's my ending for A? For L, I mean. The letter A, right? Okay, so what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I come over here, I get rid of my AR so I can find my root or my stem, and then I apply the ending that goes with it. Él limpia la casa. He cleans the house. Okay, so our steps are these, right? What are the steps for those of you taking notes? And I hope you all doing something, taking pictures, writing it down, whatever. The steps are you remove the ending, right? Whether it's an AR, yes, to find the root. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay. So you remove the ending. So if it's an AR verb, you get rid of the AR, right? If it's an ER, you get rid of the ER. If it's an IR, you get rid of the IR. Now, why is that important? Well, here's why. Okay. I'll just give you an example. There are some verbs, you guys, that look to us as odd. For example, this is the verb to read. Leer. Okay. It's an ER verb. So if I need to use this in a sentence, yo, like I read the book, I got to do this. I got to get rid of the ER to find the root or the stem. Well, look at that. Does that look like a word? Heck no, it doesn't. And then I'm going to add my O, right? I read. Because it goes with yo, isn't that right? So that's why it's so important, you guys, that we follow the steps, because sometimes the root or the stem, whichever you want to call it, is going to look different, is going to look odd to us. And we need to have the right word. Okay. All right. So our first step, you guys, is we remove the ending to find the root of the stem. And then what do? What's our next step? Then we apply the ending to match with yo, with tu, with, you know, etc., right? We conjugate it. Okay, so there's our steps. We have to remove the ending, and then we apply the proper ending that to match with the yo, the tu, etc., etc. Okay, any questions? Any questions? All right. So let's kind of do one little thing here. We had this verb ordenar. So let's do ordenar el garaje. Anybody remember what ordenar means? Like ordenar el garaje? Anybody remember what that means? Ordenar. No, that was limpiar. What is ordenar? What's it look like in English? To put things in order is another word to say what in English? To organize. Yes. So let's pretend we're going to organize the garage. Okay. So who's organizing the garage? Let's say they are. They organize the garage. Okay. So what do I do? What do I do? Well, how do I say they? Somebody help me out here. How do I say they? All right. Ellos or ellas. We'll do ellos. Okay. Now I need my verb ordenar. What do I do? What's my first step? Look up here. What's my first step? Yes, I'm going to take away the AR because I got to make sure I find the right stem. And then what's my ending that goes with ellos? Yes, very good. Think about it in your head. That's why you got to kind of think about it. O-A-S-A, amos with an A, on. So what's my ending? Yes. Good, Malia. Good, Kinsley. You guys, what's my ending? Ethan, what's the ending I'm going to use? Bell, Arshad, Malik. What's the ending I'm going to add on here? Good, Ray. It's O-A-S-A. Thank you, Ethan. Amos and on. So what do I do? Very good. Very good, Trevon. That's right. So A-N. El garaje. Right? They organize the garage. Ellos ordenan el garaje. Okay? Yes. Ellos. So we got rid of our AR because it's an AR verb. Found the root and then added the ending that goes with ellos. Okay? All right. Say it with me one more time, you guys. O-A-S-A, amos, and on. Okay? O-A-S-A, amos, and on. Super duper important. O-A-S-A, amos, and on. If it's an ER verb, look what happens, you guys. They're the same endings. Oops, they're the same endings, except because they're an ER verb, they're going to get the E instead of the A. Y'all see this, right? If it's an IR verb, they work the same way as an ER verb, except in the nosotros form. Okay, great question. And I'll respond to you in just a second, right? So, right, this is the only one when it doesn't follow the same, okay? Now, the question in the chat was, would it be the same if it was feminine? So here's the good news. Verbs or action words do not have masculine or feminine. So remember, you guys, when we learned ser and a star, we did a singular on the left and a plural on the right, right? They don't have masculine and feminine forms. Only the describing words do, okay? Yeah, the verbs are just singular and plural. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, good question. Right? AR verbs, O-A-S-A, amos and on. ER verbs, O-E-S-E, emos and en. Okay? IR verbs, same thing. O-E-S-E, but emos with an I and en. Okay? So what this tells us what kind of ending we need to use, right? If it's an AR, an ER, or an IR. All right. Everybody see why that's so important? See? Okay. All right. I'm going to give you a brain break while I switch up my screens here. And give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, I want to just show you this real fast. And if you wanted to take a picture of this for your notes or whatever it is you guys do for your notes, that's cool. All right, this is a verb called hablar, which means to speak. So once again, you guys, this is actually in your um, uh, in your resource library as the example of a regular AR verb. So again, it ends in AR, so it shows you the endings O, ASA, amos, and on. So I speak, you speak, he or she speaks, we speak, they speak. Okay, hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, hablan. Okay, so when you see this in your resource library, know that it's about the endings, okay, to help you remember what the endings are. Okay, clase, preguntas, questions? Okay. You know, the fun part about this is you don't even have to know what these mean, right? Like to be able to use them in a sentence, as long as you know how to conjugate them, which is what we're practicing, okay? We don't even need to know what they mean, obviously. Okay. All right, let me pull up my stuff, but I just wanted to let you know that's just an example. Oh, ASA Amazon. So you'll see that in your resource guide. All right, I'm trying to get into VHL, so give me a minute. You know, it's takes its time. So slow. I apologize. Okay, let's see if I can make this bigger. All right. Okay, bear with me here. All right. So in our VHL text, okay, make sure y'all can see the screen here. Notice it says, it uses the verb lavar, which is the verb to wash. So it becomes lavo, lavas, lava, lavamos, and lavan, right? And so let's take a look at exercise 59 right here. And I don't know if you guys can see that. If it's big enough for you to see, you'll have to give me some feedback. Let's see if I can get this open. All right, can y'all see this exercise 59? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. See? Okay. So what they want us to do is match. Okay. And we're talking about who organizes the garage, the bedroom, the kitchen, the family room, or the bathroom. Okay. So for example, Diana would be the same thing as she. Looking up here, you guys, right? Looking up here in our chart. Okay. Diana would be the same as she. Our ending is A. So ordena. Diana ordena la cocina. All right, she organizes the kitchen. Okay, so for número dos, we're on number 2. What would our answer be? How would you match it? Would it be A, B, D, or E? Pop your answers in the chat. A, B, D, or E? How would you match for number 2? ¿Quién ordena? ¿Quién ordena? Who is organizing, you guys? We're in number 2. What would your answer be? How would you match it? Number 2. Número dos. Hey, I need your participation I need an A, a B, a D, or an E. Can y'all see my screen? Very good, Trayvon. Yes. We're on number 2. What's my ending, you guys, that goes with tu? Very good. Very good. So what letter would we have? Yes. So you guys would match it with D. Am I right? Because it's AS. Okay. Tú ordenas la sala, right? You organize, you straighten up the family room. Okay. All right. Okay, let's try another one. I'm going to erase all my scribbles. Okay, let's do number 3, los niños. Which one would I match it with? We've already used D. What would I match number 3 with? A, B, or E? Very good, Ray. Very good, Malia. Belle, I'm on number 3. Very good, Bernadette. What would I match it with? All right, so if I look up here, if it's los niños, it's plural. So my only choices are nosotros or they, right? They, the kids, ends in an A-N. So I would match it with, if you said B, you're absolutely right. Okay. All right, so we've done this one, so we can get rid of that. All right, let's do number 4. Número 4, clase Rita y yo. What would I match it with? Very good, Malia. Rita y yo. Very good, Ray. Come on. Ethan, I want to hear from you. If it's Rita and I, what's the hack? What's the cheat I've been reminding you of all year? Rita and I is we, right? So what do I do? Very good, Ethan. Good, Malik. So which one would it be, Malik? A? What would you match it with? Very good, Malik. All right, so you guys are telling me it's Rita and I. It's plural. Rita and I is we, nosotros. So we would match it with A. Ordenamos. Ordenamos el garaje. That leaves us yo. We know the yo ending ends in an O, right? Ordeno. Yo ordeno el baño, right? I'll straighten up the bathroom. Okay. All right. Questions so far? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing that. I have a song for us. Yes, I have a song for us, and it's bad because, you know, all these songs are bad, right? But that's okay because that's what we need to remember them by.
Spanish TV.
All right, make sure y'all can hear this.
Subtitle.
You might check out the video on the endings of most AR verbs in the
Okay, make sure that y'all can hear this, okay?
present tense by clicking here. This song is to the tune of Bingo. Feel free to sing along, and I'll sing it 3 times to get it stuck in your head.
Now, that's the point, to find a way to get it in our head, right? To hear that little voice in our head. O-A-S-A, almost on. So listen carefully.
For AR verbs in the present tense like talk, look, and explain. Oh, us, almosan, oh, us, almosan, oh, us, almosan, and ice is used in Spain. Oh, otra vez. For AR verbs in the present tense like talk, look, and explain. Oh, us, Amosanos, amosanos, amosan and ice is used in Spain. Oh, una vez más. For AR verbs in the present tense like talk, look, and explain. Oh, us, amosano, us, amosano, us, amosan and ice is used in Spain. Oh. And there are a few things worth mentioning. In many Spanish classes, we will use this box to teach the different forms of the verbs, with the yo to él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes forms. Also, these endings go on the end of most AR verbs, and of course, remember when changing these actions or verbs, you take off the AR from the verb and then add the endings, depending on who does the action. So, of the 3 verbs mentioned, talk, look, and explain, we would take off the AR and add the endings mentioned in the lyrics. O, us, a, amos, an, and ice for Spain. So for hablar, we would take off the AR and then add the endings. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan, depending on who talks. For mirar, to look, we would take off the AR and add the endings depending on who looks. Miro, miras, mira, miramos, miráis, miran. And finally, for explicar, to explain, we would take off the AR and add these endings to say who explains. Explico, explicas, explica, explicamos, explicáis, explican. And for almost any other AR verb in the present tense, we would change it the same way. Take off the AR and add the other endings. And that's it for this video. Please like the video if it was.
Okay, questions? You want me to play it again? Do you want to hear the song again? Come on, you guys. All right. Muy bien. Okay. So I have a game for us. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Let's see. Where's my game? All right. All right. This is based on another video. And I know these videos are, just be glad, yeah, that you don't have to hear that every day, all day. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. And everybody needs to join because, like I said, you guys, this is, come on, copy. This is, let me see. This is you graduating. This is you finishing your Spanish 1 year, like on top. This is big. This is mega. Okay. All right. There's your link. So everybody needs to join. This game is based on a video. Okay. So we may fast forward, we may skip, right? You'll need to be flexible. Everybody needs to join. I only have 7 people in. Let's go, folks. I need 7 more people. Okay, here we go.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Estamos bien. So, Teacher Catalina, what are we going to be learning today?
Well, Profe Nano, first, we should probably introduce ourselves in case we have some new viewers. So this is Profe Nano.
Hello.
And I'm Teacher Catalina. And we're going to be learning Spanish together, right?
Yay!
So last lesson, we learned to basically say, me gusta bailar. But today, we're going to say, I dance. So that's basically what we were going to be focusing on. That's great, Prof. Nano. So you can
All right, we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip that one. Okay, got to follow along, you guys.
basically what we were going to be focusing on. That's great, Prof. Nano. So you can talk about the activities that you do now. Good?
Yep.
Excellent. Let's get learning.
Guys, remember the word cantar?
What does it mean, Prof. Nano?
It means to sing.
Very good. And last episode, you were singing beautifully. Well, cantar does mean to sing, and it is what we call a verb. It's basically when you perform an action, when you do an activity. Do you see how it ends in AR? Do you see that, Prof. Nano?
Yeah,
Cantar ends in what?
an AR.
Very good. Very important that you know that, because in order for us to say I sing, we have to get rid of that AR. But we have to add a new ending. Are you following? Are you following, Prof. Nano?
Yes, are you guys?
Very good. So the first step to say I do something, we get rid of that AR. Poof, it's gone. And now let's talk about what we're going to add to say I do a certain activity. Good?
Yep.
We are going to add the letter O. What letter, Prof. Nano?
Oh.
Very good. So now we would say canto.
Canto.
Can you try it at home? Canto. Very good. You sound great. Canto means I sing. I sing. Did you see how you did that? Let's review one more time. So first, we take our activity, our verb. In this case, what was the verb?
Cantar.
Very good. And we said we are going to get rid of what?
The AR.
Very good. So we're left with can't. Do you see that? And then we said that we're going to add what letter?
An O.
And that's how we say I sing. Canto. Canto.
I sing.
Can you show us again, Prof. Nano?
La 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 la.
Very good. So how would you say I sing?
I would say canto.
Muy bien. You could even say yo canto. I sing. Or canto. Both of them work. Ooh, I think we're about to review the verb, the activity, bailar. Bailar. Do you remember that one, Prof. Nano?
Sí, bailar. I was just doing it.
That's right, bailar. Bailar also ends in what?
AAR.
It ends in AR. So in order for us to say I dance, what do we do first?
Get rid of that AR.
Very good. And then we add what?
An O.
Very good, guys. Very good, Prof. Nano. So again, the rule still applies. We get rid of that AR. Poof, it's gone. And we add what?
We add an O.
Very good. So now we would say bailo. What would you say?
Bailo.
Muy bien. Bailo. Try it at home. How would you say I dance? Very good. Again, you could say bailo or yo bailo. Both of them work. Right, Prof. Nano?
Okay. What's the first step? You got 22 seconds to pick an answer. What's the first step? I need 3 people to respond. Yes. Okay, muy bien. So what do? We get rid of the AR or the ER or the IR. Okay. Now, I hope you guys are seeing my logic here. This video is so bad, right, that it's gonna make you remember. Okay, that's the whole point, right? It's like shock. Okay. All right, here we go. Next one. How do you say I sing? Come on, I need to hear from everyone. How do we say I sing? All right, canto, right? We add the O. We get rid of the AR to find the root of the stem, and then we add the O because that's I, right? That's the one that goes with yo. All right, keep listening. I dance. I dance. Okay. Yes, bailo, right? Bailo. Muy bien. All right, let's keep listening.
Bailo. Both of them work, right, Profe Nano?
Yup, I even say them too.
Very good. Excellent. We just changed two different verbs. Cantar into canto and bailar into
Bailo.
very good. Good job.
Tita Carolina, remember this one?
Yes, what was it?
Dibujar.
Very good. Dibujar. To draw, right? And dibujar ends in what, Profe Nano?
AR.
Very good. It ends in an AR. So in order for me to say I draw, what is the first thing I have to do?
Get rid of the AR.
Poof! It's gone. And now, tell me what to do. What do I add?
Well, you would add an O.
Very good. We add an O to the end. So now we have dibujo.
Dibujo.
Good job, Profe Nano. Dibujo. Wow, that sounds great. I draw. Dibujo. Or yo dibujo. Muy bien. Chócalas, Profe Nano. Woohoo!
Next is hablar.
Hablar. To speak. To talk. Hablar. And hablar ends in an
AR.
very good. So I want you to try this at home. The first thing that we will do is...
Get away that AR.
Very good. Get rid of that AR. And now we're going to add a new ending. What is it?
It would be
An O. Very good. So now we would say hablo.
hablo.
Hablo. Or yo hablo.
Hablo.
Good. Did you remember that H is shh, silent? We write it, but we don't say it, right?
Yeah, it's one of those sneaky letters.
That's right. It's a little bit of a sneaky letter. So again, hablo. Hablo.
Hablo.
Very good.
Okay, who remembers? What is the verb dibujar? So this is a good example of why we have to get into the habit, you guys, of getting rid of the AR, for example, because the stem is weird, right? The stem or the root that's left is going to end in a J, you know, so you just got to go with it. Okay, as long as we get rid of our AR, you just got to go with it. Okay, so dibujar was to draw, to draw. Very good. Okay, a couple more questions. How do we say I draw? I draw. Great. Very good, you guys. All right. It's unanimous. Dibujo. Okay, one last question.
Hablo.
Hablo.
Sorry, I thought there was one more question. Okay, let's go ahead and back out of that. So that was basically, you guys, to practice. Now that we only did the yo form, but the point was, right, to make sure that we get rid of the AR and then we add the appropriate ending. Okay, for the yo, for the tu, for the whatever. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we can do this backward. Yes, let's do it backward. Okay, so bear with me a minute. Okay, this is gonna, let's see who's on their toes. Okay, let's see who's still on their toes. I'm gonna scratch this. Now watch what we're doing. We have the word limpia. Limpia. What I would like for you to tell me, is it the form that goes with yo? Is it the form that goes with tú? Is it él, ella, or usted? Is it nosotros, or is it the ellos form? Pop your answers in the chat. Limpia. Very good, Kinsley. Very good, Malik. In Spanish, is it the form that goes with yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, ellos, or ellas? Which form is this? Tell me in chat. Listen to the song. O ASA amos on. O ASA amos on. O ASA amos on. So which is it? O ASA. Yeah. O ASA. Yes, it would be the L or ella. It's singular, right, you guys? So it would be the L or ella or usted form. Okay. Right? El, ella, or usted. Very good. Okay. All right, let's try another one. All right, which form is this? Limpiamos. Is it the yo, the tú, the el, the ella? Which is it? Very good, Ethan. Very good, Ray. Good, Belle. Yes, the amos is easy, right? It's the nosotros form, the nosotros form. Okay, let's squeeze another one in real quick before your class is up. Okay, one more, you guys. Ooh, this is a hard one. Careful on this one. It ends in an AR. So what is it? It ends in an AR. Have we changed it at all? We have not changed it. Therefore, it is the infinitive in the original form. Exactly, you guys. We have not changed it. So it's the original form, otherwise called the infinitive. Okay. All right, you guys, we'll continue to practice this because, like I said, this is big stuff, right? This is big stuff. Any questions? We have about a minute left. I would also remind you guys that to check your VHL, you want to make sure that you have all of those completed. Ethan? Where's Ethan? Ethan, there you are. Okay, adios, clase. Ethan, hang with me 1 minute. Adios, clase. You did a good job today. We'll continue to practice this. Okay?
Adios.
Adios. Have a great lunch. All right, Ethan, give me a minute. I'm going to head on over there and maybe I can answer your question. Okay. I have so many tabs open, Ethan. I gotta find it. Okay. Okay, adios clase. I'm just going to answer a question for Ethan. Everyone's free to go. Okay, adios a todos. That's right, Trayvon. Absolutely. Good job. Okay, Ethan, let's see. Okay, so Ethan, you have the one called tareas. Here, I'll put it in the chat here. Tareas. The Okay, so in unit 2, right, Ethan? Can you see my chat to you? You had an exercise with that score. So if you want me to, it says you have 2 more attempts. If you want to go there and then let me know if you want me to reset it, I can reset it. But if I reset it, you lose all of your answers already. And what it looks like is that you, I don't know if you looked up the word or something like that, you need to stick with the vocabulary that's in the unit. Otherwise, it's going to count it wrong. Okay. All right. So you want to redo it. You need to use the vocab. So find the vocab in the module, right? It's posted in the module, unit 2, about cleaning the house. And you need to use that vocab. Anything other than that, it'll count it as wrong. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me know if you need me to reset it or something, right? Okay. All right. Thank you.